I sometimes struggle to resist instant pleasures for future benefits. I practice delayed gratification to resist immediate rewards in pursuit of greater long-term goals. I see it as a key skill tied to self-control, impulse management, and future success. I know studies show people who master delayed gratification often achieve more in life. In psychology, I view delayed gratification as crucial to decision-making and personal growth. I understand it takes conscious effort and discipline to override urges for immediate rewards. I recognize that the ability to delay gratification begins in childhood, but can be developed throughout life. I recall the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment that highlighted how children's ability to wait predicts future success. I noted children who waited for the second marshmallow tended to do better academically. I see how that experiment demonstrated the long-lasting impact of delayed gratification on life outcomes. I link delaying gratification to higher levels of emotional intelligence. I find people with high self-control often have better relationships and financial stability. Put simply, I define delayed gratification as putting off what I want now. For me, it's understanding that short-term pleasure doesn't always bring long-term fulfillment. I know this skill can improve my decision-making and help achieve long-term goals. I place self-discipline at the core of delayed gratification, as it helps me resist temptations. Every time I choose to delay gratification, I strengthen my self-control. I admit immediate pleasure can feel tempting, but long-term rewards usually lead to greater satisfaction. That's why I see people who practice delayed gratification as more likely to be successful. I don't believe it's about denying myself enjoyment, but balancing it with future goals. When I master delayed gratification, I think strategically about my long-term happiness. I focus on the bigger picture rather than momentary impulses. I find delayed gratification builds resilience in challenging situations. Studies suggest to me that self-control and delayed gratification are linked to higher life satisfaction. When I practice delayed gratification, I am investing in a better future. I notice people who develop this skill handle stress and setbacks more effectively. This ability helps me make choices that align with my future desires and values. It requires me to think ahead and manage the emotions tied to immediate wants. Understanding delayed gratification helps me manage both short-term and long-term goals efficiently. I recognize that delayed gratification isn't about complete self-denial. It's about creating a balance between enjoying the present and planning for the future. Delaying gratification can be difficult, but I find it ultimately fosters deeper satisfaction. The more I practice delaying gratification, the stronger my self-control becomes over time. I view it as a learned behavior that I can practice and improve. I see that children who excel at waiting for a reward often have better life outcomes later. Delayed gratification can be crucial in helping me overcome bad habits and break unhealthy cycles. It helps me resist the urge to quit and push through difficulties. By focusing on the future, delayed gratification helps me shape my desired lifestyle. I'm not saying I have to say no to everything, but I choose mindful decisions for greater rewards. Mastering delayed gratification helps me improve focus and mental clarity. It helps me prioritize long-term goals over distracting short-term pleasures. Delayed gratification is essential for saving money, investing in myself, and pursuing dreams. This skill empowers me to say yes to my future while resisting temporary distractions. I believe true happiness often comes with patience and persistence. By mastering this skill, I prepare myself better to face the challenges ahead in life. Delayed gratification is deeply rooted in my brain's reward system and decision-making processes. My prefrontal cortex plays a major role in managing my impulses and regulating self-control. When I face a temptation, that part of my brain helps me make thoughtful decisions. It weighs immediate rewards against potential long-term gains. The more developed this area is, the better I am at delaying gratification. But my self-control is not limitless and can be depleted over time. This makes me more vulnerable to temptation as the day goes on. I experience ego depletion when resisting temptations becomes harder later in the day. Research shows stress can also reduce my ability to practice delayed gratification. High-stress situations make it harder for my brain to resist immediate rewards. Learning to manage stress can significantly improve my ability to delay gratification. Temporal discounting is another key factor in how I value rewards over time. Temporal discounting makes me devalue rewards that are far in the future. That is why I sometimes choose instant rewards, even when it's not in my best interest. Understanding temporal discounting helps me see why long-term goals feel difficult. Overcoming it requires me to shift how I view time and rewards. Overcoming it requires me to shift how I view time and rewards. When I practice delayed gratification, I stay more focused on long-term goals. Delaying gratification helps me stay on track with my personal and professional aspirations. By prioritizing future rewards, I set myself up for sustained success. My self-control affects my decisions about health, wealth, and relationships. For example, I might choose healthy food over junk food by delaying gratification. I am less likely to make impulse purchases when I can delay gratification. In relationships, delaying gratification means putting in effort now for long-term happiness. If I struggle with delayed gratification, I may face more challenges and short-sighted decisions. Those short-sighted choices can lead to regrets later in life. Research shows that frequently indulging in instant rewards often increases my stress. Short-term rewards don't necessarily lead to long-term happiness for me. In contrast, delaying gratification fosters a deeper sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Delayed gratification is a skill I can learn, not just an innate trait. Like learning a language or an instrument, I improve with practice. Small wins in delaying gratification give me a sense of accomplishment and motivation. The more I practice, the more delaying gratification becomes part of my everyday behavior. Over time, this ability becomes automatic and ingrained in my habits. Cognitive strategies like distraction, reframing, and focusing on the bigger picture help me. Distraction redirects my attention away from tempting situations so I can maintain control. Reframing helps me see the immediate reward as less valuable compared to future success. The more I practice, the easier it becomes to resist the urge for instant gratification. Developing habits of delayed gratification builds my mental strength and resilience. Studies show that people who practice delayed gratification are more likely to achieve personal goals. They also tend to experience better mental health and higher overall life satisfaction. With good self-control, I make better long-term investments in my education and career. Delaying gratification helps me avoid impulsive decisions that could derail my future. Even small improvements in delaying gratification can profoundly impact my life's trajectory. Through consistent practice, delayed gratification becomes a powerful tool for my success. By building this skill, I can make decisions that lead to greater rewards in the future. Delayed gratification is a powerful tool for my long-term success and personal fulfillment. It helps me make more thoughtful, strategic decisions that align with my values and goals. One of the most significant benefits for me is its impact on my financial success. When I practice delayed gratification, I save money and invest more wisely. I am less likely to make impulsive purchases that lead to debt and financial stress. Instead, I prioritize long-term wealth-building activities, like saving for retirement. Over time, my financial decisions compound and lead to greater security and independence. Delayed gratification also plays a key role in my health and well-being. For example, choosing to exercise regularly and eat nutritious foods may not yield immediate results. However, over time, these healthy habits contribute to a longer, healthier life. When I practice delayed gratification in my health decisions, I'm more likely to maintain a healthy body weight. I also tend to experience lower rates of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. By resisting short-term unhealthy cravings, I set myself up for long-term vitality. In relationships, delayed gratification leads me to more meaningful, lasting connections. I invest in the growth and stability of my relationships when I practice delayed gratification. Rather than seeking immediate pleasures, I focus on building trust and emotional depth. This creates a stronger foundation for the future and results in healthier, more satisfying relationships. Delayed gratification is essential for my professional success and career advancement. When I delay immediate rewards, I'm better able to focus on long-term career goals. I'm more likely to pursue additional education training or certifications to advance my skills. At work, I show greater resilience and perseverance when I practice delayed gratification. I'm more capable of handling setbacks and challenges because I know success takes time. By focusing on my career trajectory, I often achieve higher job satisfaction and promotion. As an entrepreneur, delayed gratification is key to growing and sustaining my business. I must often delay immediate profits to invest in my business for long-term success. This may mean sacrificing personal comforts, but it eventually leads to financial growth and stability. Delaying gratification in business decisions leads me to more sustainable practices and innovation. When I practice delayed gratification as a student, I perform better academically. I'm more likely to invest time in studying and preparing for exams rather than procrastinating. Delayed gratification helps me avoid distractions and focus on the long-term benefits of education. I understand that the effort I put in now will pay off in future opportunities. Additionally, delayed gratification helps me maintain a positive mindset through hard work and perseverance. It teaches me that patience and dedication are essential for achieving my most meaningful goals. Delayed gratification promotes my self-respect and a sense of accomplishment from earning rewards. As a parent, I know that teaching children delayed gratification can have lasting benefits for their future success. When I teach my children to delay gratification, they develop better self-control and resilience. I can help children practice this skill through simple activities like waiting for a reward. These early lessons in self-control lead to better outcomes in education and in life. I know studies that suggest children who excel at delayed gratification have better academic performance and health outcomes. By teaching delayed gratification, I help children navigate life's challenges with confidence. One of the most important aspects of delayed gratification for me is emotional regulation. When I can delay gratification, I often experience less anxiety and emotional distress. This emotional resilience makes it easier for me to handle life's ups and downs without resorting to instant fixes. Over time, mastering this skill helps me feel more in control of my life and decisions. Delayed gratification leads to greater fulfillment by empowering me to achieve my goals and live with purpose. I can cultivate delayed gratification through conscious practice over time. It doesn't happen overnight, but with dedication, I can improve my ability to delay rewards. One of the most effective ways I develop delayed gratification is by setting clear, long-term goals. When I have a clear vision of where I want to be, it's easier to make sacrifices today. I break down my long-term goals into smaller, manageable steps I can work on daily. This helps me stay focused on the bigger picture and resist short-term pleasures. I create a reward system that reinforces my ability to delay gratification. By giving myself a smaller reward after completing a step toward my goal, I stay motivated. This reinforces the connection between hard work and eventual rewards, making it easier to stay on track. I use reminders and visual cues to practice delayed gratification every day. For example, I keep a vision board or set alarms to remind me of my long-term goals. Keeping my goals in front of me serves as a constant reminder of what I'm working toward. Mindfulness and meditation practices also enhance my ability to resist immediate temptations. When I'm more in tune with my thoughts and emotions, I can better manage impulsive urges. Developing emotional regulation skills helps me cope with the discomfort of waiting for a reward. By staying present in the moment, I reduce the emotional intensity of temptation. I practice the 10-minute rule by waiting just 10 minutes before giving in to a temptation. Often, the desire to act impulsively will subside after a short waiting period. This simple delay gives my brain time to process the decision and refocus on my goals. I start with small challenges, like waiting to check my phone or resisting junk food. Over time, I gradually increase the complexity of the challenges to build stronger self-control. I improve delayed gratification by recognizing my triggers and avoiding them. If I'm prone to impulse buying, I remove shopping apps from my phone. Identifying my weaknesses allows me to take proactive steps to avoid tempting situations. I focus on the positive feelings I'll experience after achieving my goals. I visualize the satisfaction, happiness, and sense of accomplishment I will feel once I reach my target. The more vividly I imagine these positive emotions, the easier it becomes to delay gratification. Learning to say no to short-term rewards strengthens my self-discipline muscle. I remember that saying no now lets me say yes to bigger, more meaningful rewards later. I try to be patient with myself during this process and not expect instant success. I accept that mistakes and setbacks are natural and they don't define my journey toward mastery. I celebrate my small victories, as each one brings me closer to my long-term goals. I surround myself with supportive people who encourage my efforts to delay gratification. Having a support system makes the process easier and keeps me accountable. I practice gratitude regularly to stay focused on what I already have and reduce the desire for instant gratification. Gratitude helps shift my mindset from seeking external rewards to appreciating what is already within reach. I show myself self-compassion when I struggle. The more I practice delayed gratification, the more natural it becomes in my behavior. Over time, the ability to delay gratification empowers me to make more thoughtful, purposeful decisions. Mastering delayed gratification will not only enhance my success, but also improve my overall well-being. It's about taking control of my choices and focusing on the bigger, more meaningful picture. Delayed gratification teaches me that lasting happiness and success come from long-term planning and effort. With consistent practice, I can train my brain to prioritize future rewards over fleeting pleasures. The key is to keep working at it day by day until delayed gratification becomes second nature.